How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. What is up? Damn, we had an earning bonanza today. It was just like every stock under the sun reported earnings. It was absolutely crazy. And unfortunately, I had a super late day, so I'm filming this video extraordinarily late. It's like 4:13 in the morning right now. It's super goddamn late. I kind of just got home a couple hours ago, to be honest. Anyways, enough of that. It was crazy. And the earnings are crazy. We have so many stocks reporting earnings. We got Boeing, Chipotle, Microsoft, Tesla, Facebook, Caterpillar, AT&T. Jesus, it's so many companies. I can't name them all. It's crazy. I'm going to name the big ones. I'm going to talk about the big ones. I can't even read all the reports because I tried to do this, reading all the reports quickly, and it was like a super duper long time. So I'm just going to have to skim through a lot of these, talk about the main points, and tell you guys what is up, what's good, what's bad, and all that other stuff. So this is going to be a quick rundown. If you want any of these stocks in full, let me know. Comment it down in the comment section or something like that, because there's a lot, all right? We're going to talk about the main points and all that good stuff. But before we get into that, always remember to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and turn on that bell notification to stay notified on all the latest and greatest videos that I post. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's first get into Boeing. Let me talk about Boeing just for a second. Boeing had some issues. Boeing, if you don't know, they had an accident with their plane where it crashed and quite a few people died. It was like 180, I believe. And it was the 737 MAX, all right? So it's a pretty popular plane from Boeing. They recently announced that they're cutting production down to 42 from 52, which isn't good. A lot of people are grounding these planes. There's a lot of investigations going on right now. It's not really cleared to fly, but when it eventually does get cleared to fly, if it does, then that would be really good for the company. The company said it is holding about $1 billion aside just for issues like this. Now, let's get into their actual earnings, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the company. It says here, Boeing has a backlog of 5,600 commercial planes worth $399 billion, but in the first quarter, which ended on March 31st, Boeing generated just 32 new orders for 737 aircrafts compared with 122 in the same period in 2018, so obviously a substantial decrease. The company collects a part of customers' payments for its plane upon delivery. It provided only 89 of its 737 jets in the first quarter, down from 132 a year earlier. It also said it was scaling back production of the 737 to 42 planes a month from 52. But Boeing said it wanted to be ready to ramp up manufacturing once the 737 MAX was allowed to return to flight. The number of factory employees working on the plane has remained the same even though fewer planes are being produced. Some suppliers still operate as if Boeing was pushing out 52 planes a year. Without a clear schedule, Boeing said it was taking on $1 billion additional costs related to the 737, as well as other expenses with pilot training and software update. So the actual numbers, the company said core earnings per share in its first quarter had fallen 13% to 3.16 from 3.64 a year earlier. Revenue sank 2% to 22.9 billion from nearly 23.4 billion a year earlier. Boeing stock closed up nearly 0.4% on Wednesday. All right, now if we look at this current stock price, remember this is really late. So the stock, it closed at $375.46, which was up $1.44. And as of right now, it's up 4 cents to be at $375.50. So really not much of a move. Again, this is at 4 in the morning. When you watch this video, the stock will probably have already traded for the day. So who knows what it will actually be at tomorrow. My take on Boeing is it's an amazing company. It's a great company. They've had their woes with this current 737 problem. However, if you want to get into Boeing now, it's not a bad time to get into Boeing. I don't think the stock will go much more down. I'm actually surprised it only went down this much. I was actually hoping for a bigger fall on Boeing because I really like the company. I think they're one of the best at what they do, and what they do is make planes and dominate the aerospace sector. So I believe that this company is geared up for the future. It's a really good company. It's got tons of potential. I mean, the company's been around for what, like 100 years, so it's not like they're going away anytime soon. They make really good planes. Yeah, they're kind of the best plane maker in my personal opinion. I don't know too much about planes. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a pilot, nothing like that. Just from all my research and everything, Boeing is pretty damn good. I like the company. It's a good company. Moving on. Next up, we got Chipotle. Chipotle is a pretty well-known company. They make Mexican food like burritos and quesadillas. Decent company. They've grown a lot. They were in and out the 350 range. They were as high as 750. They came down, they went back up, they went back down, and now they're way back up. The stock, in my opinion, has run so much so quickly. Let me just read the report and then we'll talk about it. So this says Chipotle stock falls after topping Wall Street earnings expectations. Chipotle Mexican Grill shares fell less than 1% in the extended session Wednesday after the company topped Wall Street's estimates. The company reported first quarter net income of $88.1 million or $3.13 a share, compared with $59.5 million or $2.13 a share in the year ago period. Adjusted for items such as restructuring and impairment charges among other items, earnings were $3.40 a share. Revenue rose $1.31 billion from $1.15 billion in the year ago period. Analysts surveyed by FactSet had estimated adjusted earnings of $3.01 a share on revenue of $1.27 billion for the second quarter. Analysts model adjusted earnings of $3.74 a share on sales of $1.38 billion. Chipotle stock has gained 64% this year, with the S&P index rising 16.8%. Now, if we look at Chipotle stock, they closed the day at $709.75, up $7.29. As of right now, they're up $4.25 to close at an even price of $7.14. Not too bad of a quarter from Chipotle. It's obviously up just a smidge right now. Actually, this whole earnings season is pretty surprising. Companies aren't moving as much as I expected them to, and as much as even the option market expected them to. A lot of bullish bets and even bearish bets were made against companies, and they were made like expecting around 10% returns on most of these companies. Chipotle normally is a mover, and a lot of other stocks are normally a mover. Boeing's not normally too big of a mover, but it has been before. It has popped really big on earnings before, and I'm surprised with this 737 stuff that the stock is really holding strong. So, you know what? Boeing's got some, good stuff going. Chipotle, on the other hand, I'm not a huge fan of Chipotle just because I think the company grew way too fast, way too quickly, and I think they're going to eventually have some competition with themselves in a way, kind of like Starbucks has, where they have too many Starbucks, and Chipotle is going to have too many Chipotle type things. They keep trying to grow all this stuff. There's only so much Chipotle people want in this world, and I don't think Chipotle is going to be that crazy. I live in Toronto, Canada, and Chipotle is pretty popular, but I wouldn't say it's like out there. I mean, Starbucks is way more popular here. We personally have Tim Hortons, which is super popular here. Chipotle, there is Chipotles. I know there's a few Chipotles near me personally. They're fairly busy, but not super busy, I guess. So just looking off that, I don't think Chipotle is that crazy. And personally, the stock has run up so quickly. If you own the stock, I would definitely want to take some off the table at this point. If you don't own the stock, I wouldn't buy the stock here. I'd wait for something to happen with this stock and buy lower. You have to remember that this stock was around $350 in December. All right. A few months later, it's pushing back to its high of $750. That's pretty crazy, and I wouldn't want to touch this stock right here. The stock also trades at a PE of about 100 and a forward PE of about 60. That's pretty crazy. This stock is being valued like a tech stock when it possibly could be. I mean, they have their Chipotle lines and all this other stuff going for them, which they said is doing pretty well. That's another thing they mentioned. So the Chipotle stuff is doing well. They said they're having about, I think it was 1 million transactions through mobile a day, which is really good for them. But yeah, anyways, Chipotle is not doing too bad. I just think their stock has run up way too quickly, and I would definitely not be a buyer here. And that's pretty much how I feel about Chipotle. Moving on, let's talk about Microsoft for a second. So looking at Microsoft numbers, they posted revenue of $30.6 billion and net income of $8.8 billion. Revenue had jumped 14% year over year, and net income has increased 19%. Cloud and Office continue to push Microsoft revenue in the right direction, but Xbox, Surface, and Windows have held their own this quarter to help drive some solid results. So how's Microsoft stock do? Well, it was at $125.01, which is down 43 cents. In after hours, it's up $5.04, up about 4.03%. Not too bad. Closing the day at around 100. So in after hours, it's at about 130 right now. The stock actually hit the $1 trillion valuation. So that's pretty cool. It becomes the third company to hit it. Apple, Amazon, and now Microsoft. In my personal opinion, Google will be the fourth to hit it eventually. So we'll have to wait to see if I'm right on that one. I was right when I said Apple would hit the $1 trillion valuation first, and I did say that Amazon would hit second. Kudos to me. And then I also said Microsoft and Google would round out the top 3 and 4. Microsoft obviously hit it third, so if my prediction comes true, then Google will hit it fourth, aka Alphabet. Microsoft's a good company. It's one of the first companies I ever bought. It's actually the second stock I ever bought after Sony. All right. I bought the stock at the time back in 2014 for $39.99. What a price. And the stock is now at 130, so I've pretty much given up 90 points. I mean, I sold it above 40, but anyways, I gave up pretty much 90 points, so damn. Whatever though, I'm not too mad about it. Microsoft is a good company. It's a good stock. They're doing well and everything. It's not like this company is going anywhere anytime soon. I'm surprised they've been able to grow as much as they have, but the stock is a really good company. Obviously, like the company 5 years ago when I bought it as my second stock, it was a stock I had my eye on for years, and it just seemed way undervalued for the current price. At that time, the market cap on it was like, well, it was about a third of what it is now. So it was like 300 and I think it was around 330, 350 billion, which seemed really low in my opinion. And I thought that was really cheap for Microsoft. So obviously I bought it. The company is pretty good. It has run up quite a bit right now. I'd look for a pullback. However, to be honest, I don't believe Microsoft will pull back. And if it does, it'll be very minor. I'd almost hope for bad news to come out with this company to get back in. However, I'm also content not holding this company, as it's just not really a company for me right now, but it is a good company. It's a pretty safe company. It's one of the safer companies I believe you can buy, and I'm actually surprised it really is growing as much as it is. That's really great for Microsoft. Moving on though, because we got so many earnings, let's move on to Tesla. Tesla must be one of the funnier ones. Tesla, man, I don't even know where to go with Tesla. If you watched any of my videos on Tesla, you would know that I'm not bullish on Tesla for so many reasons. However, after all the things wrong with Tesla, I will say I believe the company will be around in the future. However, in the near term, like a year, they're going to struggle. And I've said this, I even said this last year, and I've said it so many times that this stock, in my personal opinion, if you want to buy this stock, do not buy it above 260. All right? And you know, the Tesla videos I post, those are the videos that people hate on me the most for, because so many people are bulls on Tesla. And yes, Tesla will probably be a $300, $400, $500 company. Again, I mean, it will be a $300 company again. It'll eventually be a $4, $5, even more eventually. However, in the near term, they're having a lot of issues. And let's look at their earnings because, spoiler, they're terrible. So if we look here, it says non-GAAP EPS came in at negative 290, below a negative $1.15 consensus. So they were expected to do 69 cents minus. They came in at minus 290. That's a loss per share. Wow. Next, they had revenue of 4.54 billion, which is well below their 5.42 billion consensus. So obviously they're almost a full billion off on revenue. Revisited its 2019 capex budget to a range of 2 to 2.5 billion from a prior level of 2.5 billion, which is really good, and expects to deliver 90 to 100,000 vehicles in Q2, which seems pretty high because they only delivered about 60,000 in the last quarter. So that would be a pretty substantial increase. In Q2, ahead of a consensus of 91,000 vehicles, the company also ended Q1 with 2.2 billion in cash equivalents, really good, and 11.5 billion in long-term debt and capital leases. Shares of Tesla were actually rising 1.3% after trading. Now, if we look at Tesla stock, so Tesla stock was $258.66 at the end of the day. That was down $5.24, or about 2%. After trading, it's actually down right now. It's down 67 cents, or about 0.26%. Pretty crazy when you think about, because the numbers were absolutely horrendous. Those are some of the worst numbers I've ever seen. This was really bad. Okay, now Tesla should have obviously have mentioned this prior instead of shocking everybody with this. But even them shocking people with this, I'm actually super surprised. The stock didn't really move. It went down originally and then actually went up. The conference call was substantially better. There's quite a few notes on the conference call. They're getting into insurance, which is pretty cool. They're going to compete with Geico and all that other stuff. That's pretty cool. That's a lot of business. That's a lot of money. Insurance business works as in people pay you money. You hold that premium, that money in your hand. You know, you can do whatever you want with it. You can put it into developing your business, all this other stuff. And then eventually, if something happens, you pay it out or some of it out. Normally what happens though with insurance is most people don't like to use it. So when you give people money for insurance, even if you get into a minor accident, you don't want to use insurance only if it's something major that you really need to. So a lot of the times insurance companies get to pocket this money and it costs them nothing. All right. really great business. It's probably one of the best businesses to be in my personal opinion. If I ever started a company, the company I'd want to start most is probably an insurance business because it's literally easy money like that, all right? It's pretty crazy. I'm surprised they even get away with it. It's literally one of the best businesses. You get paid for not even giving them something, for possibly giving them something. Pretty phenomenal thing in my opinion. Anyways, Tesla, there's so much going on with Tesla, obviously. If you want to buy the stock, like I've said in my previous videos, under 260, preferably 240, it's a good value for this company. 300, no, bad value. Like, don't pay that right now for Tesla. It's too much, all right? And how I like to buy stocks is if I want to own a stock, I don't buy it until it's up at a price I find fair or decent, all right? I don't want to overpay for anything in my life. I don't like to overpay for nothing, regardless of what it is, all right? Whether it's literally a sweater, a shirt, a haircut, nothing. I don't like to overpay for nothing in my life, and I definitely don't want to overpay for stocks. If I believe it will go cheaper, I wait, all right? Patience is a virtue, and patience is one of the most important things you can have in the stock market. And if you have patience, you will make a ton of money. So be patient with Tesla. If you want to be patient, don't worry. Just, buy it under 260 though. Preferably, if you can get around 240, it's a good value, all right? You could probably make 100 points on Tesla in the next year, saying it goes up to, say, 340 in the next year. You could probably make it 100 points. However, for 2019, chances are Tesla is going to struggle, and that's actually a good thing if you want to buy this stock. It's a bad thing if you want to cash out right now, but as a long-term investor, it's a good thing. Will I make a position in Tesla? No, it's still, in my opinion, a speculative company, all right? And a speculative company basically means that you don't know enough about the company to make a good position. And with numbers like that, that's absolutely horrendous. I don't like to invest in a company like that. Personally, I've never lost money in a company that makes money, all right? Never ever. I've only lost money in companies that are unprofitable, all right? And that's just my personal opinion on that. Everyone has a different opinion. But anyways, that's Tesla for you. Moving on to my favorite earnings report of the day. Unfortunately, I didn't profit at all on this, which is really unfortunate, but I did profit on earlier moves of this company. That is Facebook. If you watched any of my Facebook videos, you would know I said Facebook was a great buy, a screaming buy under 160. All this bullshit of whatever the hell, they're selling your data, this crap here, this crap there, honestly, forget about it because it's stupid news in my opinion. You know what? Facebook's selling your data. So get off Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and all this other stuff. Oh, you're not? Exactly. You're not. It's a free service at the end of the day. You're paying $0 to go on Facebook. How much are you paying to go on Instagram? $0. How much are you paying to use WhatsApp? $0. Absolutely nothing. Why would you stop using a free service if it's super beneficial to you? Now, you don't have to post your whole life and everything on there, but some people do. You know what? That's not my choice, but some people decide to do that. And, they're going to sell your information. You're literally posting your information on their site. Okay, yeah, it's your information, but you're making it public after all anyway. So, at the end of the day, the only person you can blame is yourself, okay? It's one thing if they're, selling your phone number, home address, and all this stuff that's not private, that's private, But if they're selling public information, at the end of the day, it's public information. Everyone knows it. They can go on your Facebook page and see it. So you're not hiding it. You're not slick. Don't worry about it. But Facebook absolutely crushed on earnings. Let me read you the earnings. So it says Facebook on Wednesday reported earnings of 85 cents a share, including a one-time charge of $3 billion for legal expenses because of a continuing Federal Trade Commission inquiry that is expected to lend to a $1 billion fine. But excluding the charge, earnings were $1.89 a share, being Wall Street's forecast for $1.61 revenue, which jumped 8% year over year to $15.08 billion, also topping expectations of $14.97 billion. The company said it had 2.38 billion monthly active users, edging Wall Street estimates of 2.375 billion. Now, if we look at Facebook stock, how is it doing? So Facebook stock closed the day at $182.58, down $1.20, and in after hours, it's currently at $195.99, up $13.41, or about 7.34%. Now, this is no shocker to me. It's only a shock that people thought this company was going to do bad. This company is a social media megastar, mega giant, whatever you want to call it. It's a Goliath juggernaut. You got all these companies. Facebook owns something like 69 different companies. Most of them are super small. We have to remember, Facebook's huge, Instagram's huge, WhatsApp's huge and not monetized, and they have the Oculus Rift type of stuff for VR and among many other things. All right, most of the companies again are super small, under $10 million, but Instagram's a huge one. I believe Instagram is the king of the future. It's the #1 site people will use in the future. Just judging by how impatient everyone is. When you're going like this, quick, look, picture, video. Yeah, that's how people are looking at news and all this other stuff and content. And Snapchat's kind of old news. They can pick up the crumbs that Facebook left behind, basically, to survive. But the big star is Facebook. When this stock was like $120, it was boggling my mind that people were not like buying it. And when it was $120, people were saying it was gonna go to like $90, $100. The stock's done. It's bullshit. It's crap. Man, are you crazy? Do you think Facebook's just gonna disappear overnight and Instagram, all this stuff? No, absolutely not. Do you think advertisers are just gonna leave? No. What, maybe one advertiser left? Now, how many people deactivate their Facebook? I remember that number before was 2.2, all right? And I remember they were down by like 2 million users, okay? And the stock got hammered the next day. Absolutely hammered. Does anybody remember that? No. Facebook goes down off of stupid crap like that, all right? And then it just skyrockets when it finally beats earnings. It normally does beat earnings. But Facebook is a monster, okay? Don't sleep on Facebook. You lost some easy money in Facebook, in my opinion. I made money off of options. I never actually owned the stock. I really didn't have enough free capital to buy as much stock as I wanted to. So I believed I could make more money off the options, and I made, some money off the options. Obviously, if I had more money, I'd make more money, but I'm not a billionaire. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's a pretty long video. Let me know if you bought any of these stocks. What do you think about these stocks? I know I missed a few earnings like Caterpillar and AT&T, but this video is way too long, so I can't talk about every stock, unfortunately. Anyways, have an amazing, beautiful, life-changing, one-of-a-kind day, and I'll see you next time.